To our top focus, the Supreme Court has given one more chance to Yogi Adityanath's government to reconsider their decision on Kanwar Yatra. The big question now is, will the Uttar Pradesh government, the UP government call off the Kanwar Yatra, as the indications are very, very harsh from the top court. My colleague Nalini with this report.
Faith versus COVID-19. Annual pilgrimage of Shiva devotees, the Kanwar Yatra, is a matter of huge public interest amid the possible third COVID wave. The Supreme Court on Friday set a deadline before Yogi government to reconsider its decision on holding Kanwar Yatra. The two-bench judge of Justices R.F. Nariman and B.R. Gavai said that the matter concerns all and is at the heart of the fundamental right to life. The health of citizenry of India and right to life is paramount. All other sentiments, whether it be religious or otherwise, are subservient to this basic fundamental right. The court will hear the matter on Monday.
By Monday, the Uttar Pradesh government has been asked to respond to the Supreme Court on what their decision is regarding the holding of the Yatra, and the Supreme Court is likely to pass detailed orders on the same on Monday. This comes in light of the fact that the Uttarakhand government has already cancelled the Yatra from their end, along with the fact that the third wave of the COVID-19 pandemic is already looming upon us.
Centre 2, in its affidavit in Supreme Court, said that Uttar Pradesh must not allow Kanwar Yatra and arrangements should be made to provide Ganga Jal through tankers in the state.
अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट के माध्यम से अगर किसी तरह का गाइडलाइन या कोई आदेश या मार्गदर्शन अगर वो देंगे तो उस पर तो सभी लोग सुनेंगे भी।
हम सब की जिम्मेदारी है कि संविधान और न्यायपालिका का सम्मान करना। न्यायपालिका अगर कोई बात कहती है तो उस पर विचार करना चाहिए। राज्य सरकार की जिम्मेदारी होती है कि राज्य के प्रत्येक नागरिक की स्वास्थ्य और सुरक्षा सुनिश्चित करे और किसी प्रकार की उनकी स्वास्थ्य और सुरक्षा में त्रुटि न हो पाए।
Uttarakhand has already cancelled the Kanwar Yatra amid fears of a possible third wave, weeks after holding the Kumbh Mela. Health experts too say that Kanwar Yatra should be cancelled. All eyes are now on what the Yogi government will do. With Nalini Sharma in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Some very important observations by the Supreme Court when they were hearing this suo moto, cognizance after they took on the matter of the Kanwar Yatra. Already, the BJP government, two BJP governments, neighbouring states have a very different view as far as the Kanwar Yatra is concerned. So let me just very quickly take you through what all did the Supreme Court say today when it, in its observations to the Uttar Pradesh government. The Supreme Court, in fact, said health and citizens' life is paramount. That is, in fact, the first observation which was made by the Supreme Court. Even a symbolic yatra cannot be allowed considering the current situation. Reconsider the decision by Monday or the court will pass an order. How can the Supreme Court ask a Kanwar Yatra be allowed when centre stand is against the Yatra? Remember the DDMA Act, in fact the Epidemic Act, which is right now in force across the country. The Home Ministry is the nodal agency and the Supreme Court has gone ahead and in the Supreme Court the government has said that they in principle are against any such congregation. Going across to my colleague Nalini Sharma, who is joining us with more details on this story. Nalini, time has been given to the Uttar Pradesh government, but more or less the flavor is very, very clear as far as Supreme Court is concerned. If the Uttar Pradesh government doesn't decide on its own to take back or to reconsider its decision, to take back the order, possibly a very harsh order can come crashing on them come Monday.
Videos on sidelines, one video of supporters feeding each other laddus, and one of a post.
Okay, I think let me just try again. I think Nalini is not able to hear us. Nalini, if you can hear me, very quickly, just wanted you to summarize what was the mood as far as the Supreme Court is concerned? With these observations, it looks like if the Uttar Pradesh government doesn't withdraw its order, Monday could be very harsh on them.
Well, Ankit, no doubt, because what the Supreme Court has essentially done today is given an ultimatum to the Uttar Pradesh government. So now the only two choices that they have before them is to either reconsider and withdraw the order on their own, or the Supreme Court is likely to pass an order in a similar direction, ensuring that the Kanwar Yatra does not take place. But at the same time, an opportunity has been given to the Uttar Pradesh government to reconsider and decide whether or not they would like to withdraw the order on its own. And this is coming despite the fact that the Uttar Pradesh government argued that this entire yatra was being held keeping in mind the COVID-19 protocols with very limited participation. But even that limited participation is not going down well with the Supreme Court, who even in the past few months have taken a very firm stand when it comes to any sort of religious gathering during the time of the pandemic. In fact, Justice Nariman has very clearly gone on to say today that the right to health and the right to life of the people, irrespective of whether or not they're participating in the Kanwar Yatra, is more important and paramount than the religious sentiments of the people. So the religious sentiments will have to take a back seat in the light of the looming third wave of the COVID-19 that is likely to hit us. And that is essentially why the Supreme Court is likely to pass orders on this on Monday,
Right.
irrespective of whatever decision is taken by the Supreme
It is going to be very, very difficult for the Uttar Pradesh government now to, in fact, go ahead with their order. The centre has also in the Supreme Court said that they are against any kind of gathering like the Kanwar Yatra. But the question that the political analysts are asking is, has the Yogi Adityanath government been able to do exactly what they wanted? Just send across a message to their constituency and now blame the Supreme Court for not allowing this Kanwar Yatra. We'll have to wait and see what, in fact, people make of this entire move politically in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Now, I want to shift focus to the other big political story that we are tracking this evening. All despite massive efforts from the Congress top leadership, still doesn't seem to be well as far as the Congress in Punjab is concerned. Navjot Singh Sidhu, who is in the national capital, there is a meeting there that is going on. There was a meeting that was held with Sonia Gandhi, the Congress president, and also Rahul Gandhi was present in this meeting. Meanwhile, all indications coming in from Chandigarh, where Captain Amrinder Singh is based, seem to suggest that he's not at all happy with even the suggestion that Navjot Singh Sidhu should be made the PCC chief. A very crucial meeting was called by Captain Amrinder Singh of the MLAs and ministers loyal to him. Is the Congress party, the top leadership, in its bid to quell one dissent of Navjot Singh Sidhu, now giving rise to another rebellion, the rebellion of Captain Amrinder Singh?
A festering feud and a truce that still looks a distant possibility. To quell the simmering crisis, the Congress top brass once again reached out to its disgruntled Neta Navjot Singh Sidhu. He was summoned by Congress President Sonia Gandhi herself to 10 Janpath in Delhi.
Sir, क्या आज आपकी मीटिंग है? Sir, सिद्धू sir.
60 minutes. That's how long the meeting lasted. The details of the meet were kept a guarded secret. Sources in the party say Sidhu may be given a key responsibility in Punjab, but the party is unwilling to commit as of now.
बिल्कुल कौन कहता है? आप कृपा करके मेरे बयान को बहुत केयरफुली पढ़िए जो मैंने कहा है और शब्दों को समझिए. जब तक कांग्रेस प्रेसिडेंट बात को क्लियर नहीं करती है तब तक मुझे भी जानकारी इस बात की नहीं हो सकती है कि इनफैक्ट उनका लास्ट डिसीजन क्या होने जा रहा है.
Sidhu was summoned to Delhi following meetings by rival camps in Punjab. India Today has learnt Captain Amrinder Singh was upset over Sidhu's huddle with 5 ministers and 10 MLAs in Chandigarh on Thursday. As per sources, the captain complained to Congress's Punjab in charge Harish Rawat and party chief Sonia Gandhi. Sources say Amrinder alleged Sidhu was plotting to instigate a mass resignation by his supporting MPs and MLAs. The captain has also expressed his disapproval of Sidhu's possible elevation within the party on grounds of seniority.
अभी किसी ने कोई ऐसी नाराजगी कम्युनिकेट नहीं की है और यदि कहीं कुछ चीज़ों को लेकर के गलतफहमी होगी, कोई बात होगी, कहीं कम्युनिकेशन गैप दिखाई देगा तो मैं हूं ना उस काम के लिए। हम उस कम्युनिकेशन गैप को पाटने की कोशिश करेंगे।
Amrinder, when he met Sonia Gandhi last week, had given his word that he will abide by the High Command's decision.
जो फैसला कांग्रेस प्रेसिडेंट करेंगे as far as Punjab party is concerned or whatever other political activity, we are all geared up to take full action on जो भी वो चाहेंगे.
Punjab state unit leaders are hopeful that party leadership will be able to resolve the crisis before it does any irreparable damage ahead of the elections next year.
कांग्रेस में विवाद है ही नहीं है यार, किसने कहा है विवाद? ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है, ये परिवार का मसला है और दिल्ली भी हमारा परिवार है, यहाँ भी हमारा परिवार है, हम लोग बैठ के इसको ठीक कर लेंगे, कोई दिक्कत नहीं।
कि हमारे परिवार का मसला है और जो हाई कमांड फैसला करेगी सबको मंजूर होगा।
For now, all eyes are on 10 Janpath. The battle of Sardars will be decided in Delhi.
Sidhu sir.
With inputs from Satendra Chauhan and Manjeet Sehgal in Chandigarh and Anand Patel in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, this big breaking news that is coming here right now on 6 p.m. Prime. This is going to give a heartburn to Captain Amrinder Singh. These visuals on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, are of celebrations which are taking place outside Navjot Singh Sidhu's residence. There are posters which have been also put up which are in fact thanking the party high command for making Navjot Singh Sidhu the PCC chief. Just to remind you viewers and also the supporters of Navjot Singh Sidhu that there has been no formal announcement yet, but look at the celebration which is taking place outside Navjot Singh Sidhu's residence. I mean, this more or less looks like a pressure tactic also which is being used. And these posters, these exactly are the posters I was talking about. Now, these posters are from Ludhiana, where the Punjab, in fact there is only one lion's red reads one poster and the picture is Navjot Singh Sidhu. So this is going to give a lot of heartburn as far as Captain Amrinder Singh is concerned. He's not going to be happy with the kind of celebrations that we are seeing from the supporters of Navjot Singh Sidhu. And possibly also, I have once again want to reiterate the caveat that Navjot Singh Sidhu is yet to be formally appointed PCC chief of the state unit of Punjab. Very, very interesting developments. Let me go across to Manjeet Sehgal, who is joining us with more details. Manjeet, now at a time when the talks are at a very fragile and important juncture as far as this balancing act between Navjot Singh Sidhu and Captain Amrinder Singh is concerned, these posters and these celebrations are not going to go down well with Captain Amrinder Singh.
Yes, indeed, Ankit. Captain Amrinder Singh and his camp is opposed to Navjot Singh Sidhu's elevation as Punjab Congress Committee chief. Remember, before Navjot Singh Sidhu met Sonia Gandhi today, Captain Amrinder Singh's OSD, Narendra Bhamri, delivered a sealed letter to Sonia Gandhi. What is written in that letter? There is a strong word, sources telling us not to impose Navjot Singh Sidhu on Punjab. Captain's camp is saying that Sidhu is not as popular as being propagated. That is why Captain's camp is now raising the issues of Hindu and other communities, Dalit communities. Two prominent Congress leaders, Manish Tiwari and Pawan Diwan, in their tweet said that if 6 or 57% Hindus form 38% of the electorate in Punjab. They should be given equal representation. If Navjot Singh Sidhu is appointed as PCC chief, another Jat will dominate the Congress in Punjab. So now Captain's camp is furthering this cause. They are raising the issue of representation to Hindus and Dalits in Punjab Congress. So Captain Amrinder Singh's camp continues to oppose Navjot Singh Sidhu's elevation, but on the other, Navjot Singh Sidhu's supporters are already in a celebration mood.
Already in a celebratory mode. This could be premature celebration as well, or possibly, something that Captain Amrinder Singh is going to watch out very, very carefully, because as I've been saying, despite meetings after meetings, there hasn't been a clear decision which has been taken by the Congress leadership yet, at least in the public domain. Going across to my colleague Anand Patel, who has been tracking the developments of this hectic one after another meeting, trying to resolve this crisis by the Congress top brass. Anand, celebrations have already erupted in Punjab. Sidhu's supporters are already celebrating. But this is going to be the most difficult task for the Gandhis. They are trying to ensure that dissident in the party in Punjab is quelled. Meanwhile, another rebellion is being threatened by Captain Amrinder Singh.
Well, Ankit, what we are picking up here is that it's almost certain that Navjot Singh Sidhu will be the PCC chief. It's just a matter of time when the announcement comes. But yes, strong opposition from Captain Camp. Captain Amrinder Singh himself had opposed another Jat Sikh leader as the PCC chief, given the demography of Punjab. And he had cautioned the leadership that alienating the Hindu community would cost dearly to the party in the elections. But the information from inside is that Captain Amrinder Singh wants a bigger say in the ticket distribution in the upcoming elections, because if Navjot Singh Sidhu becomes the PCC chief, he would have discretion on the ticket distribution, and Captain Amrinder Singh wants to have the larger say. This is what we are picking up, and that's the reason why negotiations are still going on. Attempts are being made from the High Command side to persuade Captain Amrinder Singh and give away, certain things which he wants in his favor to keep his position intact as the supreme leader of the Congress party in Punjab. So interesting to see as to how things will play out in the next couple of days. We are told that announcement will be very, very soon.
Thank you, Anand and Manjeet, for joining us with all those details. As you saw those visuals of celebrations, let me now very quickly play out a reaction from one of the supporters of Navjot Singh Sidhu, who was, in fact, very happy eating those laddus outside his residence in Patiala. Listen in.
मैं ऐसा सिद्धू साहब को सपोर्ट करता हूँ, इसीलिए मैंने बोर्ड लगाया है कि और मेरे को लगता है कि पंजाब में जो पंजाब के अभी हालात हैं उसको मद्देनज़र कि नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू एक लास्ट होप है हमारे पास कि पंजाब को एक अच्छा स्टेट बना सकते हैं.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news coming in at this moment on the broadcast. We are getting news that Rajnath Singh, the Union Defence Minister, meets former Defence Ministers A.K. Antony and Sharad Pawar. As per sources, the former Defence Ministers were briefed by the Chief of Defence Staff, General Bipin Rawat, and Army Chief, General Manoj Mukund Narwane, on the ongoing conflict between India and China on the border. The two former defence ministers had some clarifications and doubts on the situation, which were clarified by the CDS and the army chief. So very, very important meeting which has taken place today. And it is also heartening to see that all these allegations of the Modi government not taking the opposition along, at least an attempt has been made by Rajnath Singh, the defence minister, to get the former defence minister Sharad Pawar and A.K. Antony on board. Very quickly, going across to my senior colleague Gaurav Sawant, who is joining us from the newsroom. Gaurav, Modi government throughout this entire crisis that started with China, the accusation was that they have been keeping the nation and the opposition in dark. This is a very welcome step by the defence minister, trying to give a clear brief to the former defence minister so that they can take the message back home.
So, India's attempting a whole of the nation approach in dealing with the situation along the line of actual control. Yes, that has been a criticism that the government hasn't taken the opposition in the past, but the government's point of view has been that whatever information was sought was shared, and whoever sought information was shared, that information was shared. The road ahead in Ladakh is not going to be very easy. So when India moves forward on whether it's dialogue with China, what is India attempting to do? As was articulated by the External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, India's attempt is that status quo ante is restored along the LAC, which is not happening right now because China refuses to do that. That's point one, even though they may claim on the contrary. As far as military commander level dialogue is concerned, while they withdrew from the south and north bank of Pangong Tso post the QPQ, they haven't done that in other sectors.
Right.
So what will India do next? It will have to be a whole of the nation approach, which is what India is attempting at this point of time, as tension also remains extremely high on the LC and the situation on AFPAC border and in Afghanistan. That is something that, again, impacts us directly.
And as Gaurav would always say, keeping India first, ahead and over everything. That seems to be the approach, but very, very important. And one cannot miss the political angle to it. Just before the monsoon session, possibly the government anticipates that there is going to be a lot of opposition questions as far as the situation with China is concerned, trying to get senior leaders from the opposition parties on board. Rajnath Singh meeting the former defense ministers. All right. With that, ladies and gentlemen, let's very, very quickly at this moment